Good morning, and good evening, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham at the third at your service after all. Now, we're going to be talking about this one a lot more seriously than anything because we're going to talk about not just about me, of course, in layman terms. Number two, you want problems that need solving, but you've got one major big problem at the Norfolk Railway, right? They're causing a big havoc, problem issue, right? Okay, they got basically got a letter that is in their possession that's wrong, right? Only three suspects involved in this. Basically, you got Daisy, Devious Diesel, and his wife. Now, three-page setup, right? A lot of people in the cop zone would understand a living legend needs support and guidance and respect, for God's sake. Three things out of you guys that I need, right? The management is fucked up with this problem. They're going to continue to be like that and be stubborn and be assholes, excuse my French, and they will be ending up with nothing. Why? The people that are working on that platform right now should have realised this is not Matthew, that my fault in general, right? They're going to work it out, they're going to work it out, and they're going to snap, snap, snap. Why? When the living legend tells you, like myself, tells you to grow up and realise it's not my fault, right? We know the whole bloody community's on my side on this one, and they know the truth from a lie. You want to be honest with yourselves. You want to be truthful to yourselves, but you must not lie. Lying and being deceitful and all the other parts of the category, right? A lot of you want to keep your jobs, right? I get that. But you've got to see what unfolds in front of you because in the day, whatever unfolds in front of you will help me out because it's helping me out feel comfortable, feel at ease, feel at job wise. I don't want to go up that station and knock them out and say, look, the management should not be telling you what to flame do. You need to fight back. If you're a steamy lover, you've got to start fighting back. Why? Because it helps the steam team. It helps me included. And it helps, why? In the other day, the diesel team has lost. Why? Because they've been disrespectful, they've been dishonest with you, right? They set me up instead of Duck and Gordon and Henry and James. So work it out. Who's the liars around here? Not me. You can't blame me because most of the employees and the volunteers that were working on that railway know I wasn't always on the platform. So how can I be accused of something that that's been set up initially? You can't break two stones in one bread and realise, oh, we could set up this guy in every direction and make sure he doesn't come on the platform, and we just tell the management, boom, 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 boom. What happens? The management will realise it's a lie. The management has to get clever and realise it's a three-person setup, right? You realise that there is something not right about the letter you were given, or the letter that was proven to you, or thought to be realistic, thought to be that's genuine, and all of that shit in your head. It goes through your head first, but you don't think twice, right? So when you see things, what's the first thing you see, right? You've got to realise a living legend, Sir Top of that the third, myself. You have to realise you've been lied to. You've been deceived by the management. Why? The management believes whatever they see, whatever shown in front of their faces. They don't think twice and ultimately look at that letter. I said, who are you targeting or whatever, questioning and everything else. And then a lot of people, like a former NHS nurse, also, right, you must not have NHS on the platform. Why? Because regardless of her career and everything else, she lied. How? Well, of course she could get rid of the voluntary license, but no. What happened? Then Divas Diesel said you're no longer allowed on the premises. Right? Why? Then it leads down to Daisy. Right, we all get back to Daisy. But why? Why is Daisy so bloody important? I said, do you know how crafty she is? She's verbally and physically abusive. Excuse me, why she's suspect number one, ain't she? She's considered armed and dangerous in every angle. Why? Well, you can't. When people set up people, you have to admit, right? The cop should have realised he can't be there all the time. Number one, and number two, we seen simultaneously seeing volunteers and employees getting abused, physically abused, and verbally abused. You right? Right? People know the reason why they didn't help me is because I was their top boss. So they can't boot out their own boss, right? So the management says, like, going down the line, and they ending up with one false letter in front of their face saying, this is what happened to this individual, let's get him out of it. Right? Right? What they did wrong next, this is stage two. Tell everybody on the platform. A lie, a lie, a lie. Why? Everybody knew this, including Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, and James, Percy, Toby, Duck. All the other steam team members all knew about this. Why? Innocent. You couldn't target me because I'm your boss. So work it out. If I was the steam team member's boss, right, you couldn't do it. It's against the Southern law, as they say. You need to start waking up and smelling the coffee here. Right? Some people know this, that Daisy had a reputation to be devious at first. Oh, yeah, well, she was stubborn to a porter and said, I don't want to carry this milk tanker. What? She moaned and moaned, she rattled, she said, right, that's it. She said, boo, 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 boo. She goes, hoo, ha. Right? You got to realise, how did she rattle her cage when the porter gave her this? Well, she was verbally, physically abusive. So you can't blame someone who's disabled doing the same trick. How could I do it if I never said anything wrong? How could I be verbally or physically abusive? Couldn't happen. So what happened? In the day, the diesel team lied their way in. So work it out. The diesel team got in and said, "Oh la, we took over the railway. We took over this, and the steam team is outside waiting for you." Right? You're gonna end up crying down wolf. Why? Because you'd be saying, "What is wrong here? We weren't supposed to get this. We're supposed to get the steam team on board here, not the other way round." Right? You're gonna end up with a sticky situation. Of course, Dr. Hatt is watching you, trying to target you, trying to eliminate the diesel team, telling you that the management is a bent management because they listen to a lie rather than the truth. The truth will always set people free. Why? Because the honesty is more better than being dishonest. So work it out. You're not gonna live through dishonesty, are you guys? No. Why? Because in the day, the diesel team are they're gonna end up fucking themselves. Excuse my language, and it ends up putting them in a lot of shit. Why? Because the diesel team fucked everyone else over. Why? Because they screwed themselves over. Are you gonna allow it? No. They abused the whole employees, the volunteers, everybody else, and ended up with nothing. Now let's move on from that. I know you got questions and you need answers and saying you want help, you want support, and you want guidance now. I said, boot the management out because you're not gaining anything in any way, in any shape or form after all. So work it out. You're getting less and less and less, and you're physically abusing and verbally saying that I'm physically, verbally abusive. No, I'm not. Just because I'm talking in a different language doesn't mean you fully understand what's coming out of my mouth. I said the porter came to me and told me that Daisy fucked up. A living witness, a living porter told me that. Right, a real life person I'm speaking to in private, would not give me his name, but all he had to say was that Daisy set you up, big time style. And she, he said to me or he told me in full confidence that I didn't see you be verbally, physically abusive. End story. And he named the suspect to be Daisy. Why? Daisy has a reputation for this job. Why? You know, we all talk about Bullseye, the episode Bullseye, I think it is. Let me get to that episode and I'll tell you exactly what went wrong on that. Right? 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 We all talk about Bullseye as let me just get that Bullseye from Thomas, obviously, and I will prove the living. Right? As we know, right? Right, the episode Bullseye from Thomas and Friends itself, the realistic version, is now coming out. Right? Let me just find out. It was in Series 4, Episode 21 and 22. But why? Why is 21 and 22? It's because it was broadcast on Series 4, Episode 21, broadcast order. So obviously that's when it was broadcasted. But now, you want to know the truth behind this all? Oh, I will let you know. But this is during like my friend or one of my Steam team members, Toby's t- cow captures and side plates are designed to prevent animals from getting hurt on and straight onto the line. But Daisy, right? I know who she is as a person. So in real life, Daisy thinks they look ridiculous and believes that Toby is simply afraid of getting hurt himself. She tells Toby that any animals, even bulls, will always run away if she toots her horn and looks at them in the eye and desperately Toby's insensitivity that she will that they will not. Later that day, Daisy is asked by the policeman to guide a stray bull back to his former farmer. She sets off, aging the proof that Toby that she can handle bulls. Desperate fact, right? There's a fact in this, and I'm going to tell you how it happened in real life, right? Right, the policeman involved, right, in all of this is P.C. Smith. Now, while Daisy's identity is remained anonymous for obvious reasons, right, Daisy is asked by a policeman, P.C. Smith, to guide a strayed bull. Now, I wouldn't be that strayed bull because I wasn't in it, number one. This is why. So, who is the strayed bull in this? It's not me, and it's not Thomas. So you can't blame us. It doesn't matter left, right, or centre on this one. So P.C. Smith guide a strayed bull. Who is a strayed bull on this? Right, it says back to his farmer. Now, Who was the stray bull on the line? Now, if it's a real life event, who was the bull? And it wasn't me, right? Right? She sets off, urging to prove to Toby that she can handle the bulls. So she, so basically, my contact, my private connection, s- Toby says, boom, boom. She urges off to prove to Toby that she can handle bulls, but she couldn't. In fact, she has never actually encountered one before. Right? I thought that not usually the very first bull named Champion had been crossed that morning. He had strayed from his field and crashed through a fence, slid down the slope, become disorientated upon regaining the compass. So he, he finds himself next to the railway line and begins to eat the on the to get the to, to eat the trackside grass. Daisy, or who the ominous person is in real life, bribes and toots to get him to move. Desperately, several attempts. Champion ignores her and continues eating. Eventually, he notices Daisy. We must know who the person who the real identity is, and obviously advances the cues towards her. Daisy becomes unserved as the bull is not running away as she had expected. Her driver, which is not mine, may I add, this is one of the porters and the drivers that watch out. The driver assures her that Champion is harmless, but Daisy is worried that she might get hurt by these horns. Through this, he tries to hide this, and Champion sniffs at Daisy with his proof that there's been the last straw as Daisy retreats back to the station. So if Daisy retreats back to the station, such as Sheringham Station, as it were, so you can't say, oh, right, Toby soon learns about the incident, which is true, and goes to the shoe champion away himself. A thought not without remaining now silent and embarrassed, Daisy, that a bull should always run away if the engine looks him in the eye. When Toby arrives, his bull and whistle proved ineffective against still a blazing bull, but the champion eventually retreats after Toby blows steam at him. So the bull and the farmer are soon reunited further down the line. So, effectively, if that was a real life event, which it was, and it is still now because a lot of people keep blaming people, right? Daisy fucked up like she always had. Why? Because Daisy did fuck up because the first time she cried wolf on PC Sniff. So if so that's the only time that PC Smith, the policeman, was with Daisy crying wolf. Because in the day she cried and said, oh, we did this and all that. Well, fortunately, the bull, it's a stray bull as it would be, bang. In the day that the bullseye was one of the episodes that's so hard to go by. So in the day, when it comes to the children at the end, right, the little boys, right, went up to Daisy. This is why Daisy at Christmas time was effectively hurting the children, and the children were afraid of her. So work it out. If Daisy was doing what she was doing at the station, what do you think the kids were doing? Just work it out. The kids were having sweets, maybe, if you would like to call it sweets, saying, "Would you like a bullseye?" And Daisy ran away. Why? Effectively, she turned the story the other way round. When the story should be that the kids should be targeting Daisy herself. Why? If it was stated in the story that when one of the kids tried to offer the sweets to Daisy, she backed off. Why? Work it out and go the other way round. Instead of being afraid of it, being afraid of them, Daisy was being immature instead of the other way round, which makes the kids upset and offensive. So work it out. So Daisy was the crying wolf one who framed the Hat member of the family. That everything is all twisted, but all the police can do is let it play out, which is true, to a point. But there was only one police officer, P.C. Smith, who was always on Daisy's side. Why? If Daisy asked the policeman, P.C. Smith, to guide a stray bull back to his farmer, then you got to work out it can't be me because I'm the fat controller in my own flat. So work it out. If I'm Stephen Topham at the third, who guided the stray bull back to his farmer on the railway? So work it out. It's realistic, and you got to put this story into real life. So work it out. It's very difficult at first. Now you got to put it all together. Work it out. Why was Champion still smack in the middle in front of Daisy? But then what happened? You see, PC Smith can only do so much with a letter. So what did the letter have got something on a bullseye job? So you need to work out, believe that Toby is simply afraid of getting hurt himself. She tells Toby that any animals, even bulls, will always run away if she toots her horn and looks at them in the eye desperately. So why do you think this episode was all on her, not the fat controller, nothing to do with that? You work out that in the day later that evening, Daisy feels exhausted but glad that her day's work is over. Some boys at the platform then teased her with some bullseye sweets, and then the annoyed Daisy shrugs off and jokes and leaves the rest in her shed. So what do you think the real McCoy Daisy would do in human form? Now work it the other way round, guys. If the real fat controller knows this, right, reverse the story and make it realistic. Like it was on right in front of you. Right? I've been told by Toby himself, who I will not name, who the real identity is of this individual. Work it out. If I wasn't in control. I'm in control, but think about it realistically, right? So when you think that that bull was reunited to the farmer, why was a setup in play? Just think about it logically, the way the story is told. The bulls runs away if you toot and look at them in the eye. Daisy, question mark. Toby teasing Daisy. So work it out. It wasn't my doing, and you can't blame me because I'm not on a platform. So work it out. If I was framed and set up, and while this was all happening, look at the way the story's unfolding to you now. You're ending up with a different saga because you're basically in Wild Norvester's timeline, and that doesn't have that bit in. Why? Because Daisy left the building. So I'm going to tell you every damn story and making sure that you get the right way around it. The next one is called Thomas and the Special Letter. Now, what if that special letter was the setup? But only Thomas and Percy were partly involved in this. So that's not. This is where the little girl's letter comes into play. But I haven't had one yet. Why? Have I made something not yet? Just think about it logically. There's a lot of events that still need unfolding, right? And refixing, of course. Why? Let me put this in perspective for you. It's telling me, right, dear Thomas and all the engines, please can I meet you? My friends say they would love to meet you too. You could come to my house for tea, but my mummy says there's aren't railway tracks to my house. Can you to the station come to the station instead? Thank you very much. Brackets, little girl's letter. Now, wake up and smell the fucking coffee if that was real life. Now, what happens when the little girl asks to split? Bust the peppers! Get it in your head, Thomas. I understand this letter really means to you very much. Indeed. So work it out. And that was in season 4, episode 21, when it production, but the broadcast was episode 22. Why? Get it in realistic form. Now work it out now. So if I'm telling you that in real life, where is the fact in all of it? You got rid of you got rid of Daisy, but now you got the setup letter that really wasn't meant to be a setup letter. If you reverse the letter, it should normally come out with a little girl's letter instead of the setup. Now, what do you think they done wrong when the North Norfolk Railway didn't realise it was a setup, number one, by 3 people? To begin with, the living legend works it out, Sir Stephen Topham the third works it all out for you, and you're ending up with that little girl's letter. Just think about it. So work it out, the railway, right? You the ones that are all North Norfolk Railway are all fucking it up and trying to get away with blue murder. What are they trying to prevent? The Steam Team's actual most actions, including myself, of course. So work it out in every angle. You stupid porters of God. I should be fired for your actions. So work it out. When it says, Dear Thomas, and all the engines, please can I meet you? My friends say they would love to meet you too. You could come to my house for tea. But my mummy says there aren't any railway tracks to get to my house. Can you come to the station instead? Thank you very much, little girl's letter. Without a name and or or ignition to know who it's come from. So that's the letter I was supposed to get from the North Norfolk Railway, not the other way round. Why? This is the thing that people don't get. You got a letter, or I got a letter, you got to work out Where does it all come from? You got a setup, and right? I got a setup letter instead of that. So work it out. Why was the fact controller set up when he hasn't done nothing wrong? Get it in your heads, guys. It's very simplified, very easy. The management is fucked because they can't deal with the problem, and they screwed up something. They screwed what was meant to unfold gently. Why? Work it out forward like you would do with the whole series. Work it out. It's very simplified. The management are bent. They tell you lies and a lot of deceits. Why? Covering up Daisy's story is one thing. But telling me I'm physically, verbally abusive? Work it out. It doesn't make sense, does it? Thank you very much.